Hello and welcome. I'm Stephen Hernandez, the host of Nonprofit Fundamentals. So this is the second part of my three-part series on how to roll out a program or a project. So what we're going to talk about today is, so now we're really starting to really dive into it now. And again, the example that I'm using is a pretty common one in the nonprofit field. Funders nowadays really want to see collaboration. They want to see partnerships. They want to see subgranting. This is a very common thing. A lot of nonprofits are being moved into this direction with mixed results. So one of the things I really want to discuss is how to do this effectively. So the topic of today's presentation will be how to evaluate the capacity of your partners. Again, I would use this as a cautionary tale for those who are thinking about doing this rather than after the fact. So if you've already signed a contract, you may be a little too late, but that's okay. We can still use these as some general tips. But ideally, this is something I would encourage you to view before you start to sign on the dotted line. So if you're in a situation where you are writing a grant and you're the primary applicant or the lead applicant, and you recognize that you cannot carry out all the functions of the project, then you will need to subcontract some of those funds. It could be a small portion, it could be maybe even the majority of the funds of the grant. That's totally up to you as the lead applicant. But the important thing I want to stress is for those who are in that role, so you're receiving the funds and you're going to partner with another organization, you need to be able to evaluate their capacity to carry out the work. So I'm going to give you some very basic tips that I strongly encourage you to follow whenever you find yourself in this situation. First and foremost, the question you need to ask yourself is the leadership of the organization that you're thinking of working with, have they bought into the project? Is the leadership aware of the idea? Is this something that they want their staff to be doing? Believe me when I say, even people with the best intentions will say yes, they'll take the money, but really if they want their staff people to work on something else, they're going to work on something else, okay? I'm not implying any malfeasance or bad ideas there. Organizations need money, they need to cover their employees' costs. Really talk first and foremost with the leadership. There should be a partnership between the leaders of the organization, your own and the organization you're hoping to partner with. Number two, really get a clear idea of which staff person is going to be carrying out the work. So again, you're subgranting or you're partnering with them. This flows right from that conversation with the leadership. Okay, so who's going to actually carry out this project? If you're subcontracting for, say, policy analysis or community outreach, who's actually going to be doing that? That's something you should know. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, someone's going to handle that, or our community outreach person's going to do that. Really? Who is that? Ask those questions. Get that buy-in. It's going to be Sarah. Sarah has 5 years of community outreach experience. She's familiar with this population where you're trying to reach. She's worked with the indigent population or the Native American population, whatever it is. You should know that they have the capacity to carry out the work. Number three, is this a partnership that's going to be mutually beneficial? Are they going to support your work? In a sense, will they be giving you credit for the funds and technical support that you're providing them? Too often, I see this in the nonprofit field. An organization has received funds that will allow them to carry out an ancillary or even a core function of their mission, yet they don't give credit to the organization who's provided those funds. This is another really basic thing that you should identify and establish in your initial conversation with leadership, a follow-up conversation, and certainly in a memorandum of understanding. If you provide funds, it should be down on paper, what are we going to get for those funds? It should be mentioned in the annual report. Whenever they're doing a presentation with your money, they should acknowledge your organization. We receive the funds to carry out this, to do this, to present this through X organization. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. You got the grant. You're doing the hard work of the reporting, the administration, and carrying out other core functions on the project. Your organization should be acknowledged for that. This should be a partnership, not a one-way street. Thank you so much for listening. These are very basic things I encourage you to do. If you have examples of memorandum of understanding or other partnership best practices, please comment below. Let us know what you think. And as always, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.